Hello and welcome everyone to another Northgard video on this channel. Yesterday Shiro Games released a new Easter update for Northgard, so even though there weren't not too much new things implemented into the game, there were quite a few quite important bug fixes that were done here. And if you wondered why you have pink sheeps running around in your base, you definitely come to the right place, because I'm gonna read over the different changes in the patch notes, gonna rate that all a little bit, thing how important it actually was, and yeah, let's just jump in without any further ado and let's see what they have for us. So here we have the patch notes right in front of me, and let's see what actually got changed and what the most important things are. So the escape key will now close the chat window in priority. So I think that's quite important, because I had a few problems with that you just are very used that the escape key will close everything what you need, and the chat window weren't affected by that, and we're always a little bit crazy. It's cool that it's now implemented, and it will of course have a few effects in my game, because not hacking around now trying to close the chat window anymore. Really good change. Your trade routes will now be stopped before reaching 0 crowns. So actually, before you actually hit that, I would say when you have 1 crown left or something like that. So if you have no crown prediction at all, right then your buildings won't start burning, because usually you will have like maybe you will have minus production in gold, like -5 gold, to drop slowly down to minus to your 0, and just when you hit the 0, your gold production is usually good enough to keep your gold up. But if you reach the 0 crowns, usually the building already started burning, even though you had some gold production going on there, and that is actually a good change right now. Quite good. Makes maybe the trade win a little bit more valuable, even though I don't really think so, because the trade win has other problems within itself. We added an effect on ongoing scenarios to help clarity of the campaign map. This should help new players to understand their current objective. I didn't actually saw that right now, because I didn't play any campaign right after this Easter update, but I'm gonna jump in soon and play a little bit. And yeah, then I'm gonna see what that actually is. If you know that already, you can of course drop that in the comments, because I don't actually know what they mean with that right now, but I think it's gonna be quite important, so that's it. We balanced a little some of the campaign scenarios. So we have chapter 5, there's now a clear sign showing you when reinforcements will arrive. Okay, that's cool. Chapter 6, answering one of Swan's requests now also grants some happiness. Okay, that makes it a little bit easier than before, definitely. And chapter 9, there were some text errors. Okay, I didn't know about these. Like, I know that this text always skipped away without you could read them, and I think in chapter 9 it were actually the most important there, right? Because they were happening the most. So quite cool that they changed that up, made the campaign a little bit more playable, and of course for players that play the game the first time, it's quite important that the campaign runs quite flawless, so they have their fun with it. So really cool they made that. We added the Turkish language to the game. Sorry for the delay. So really cool of them having new language into the game implemented, always cool, makes the community a little bit bigger, and yeah, we're about time, I guess, so really cool. Coming to a very important point right here, that is, when entering an area with both an enemy and a neutral unit, the player can now kill the neutral unit before killing the enemy unit. So this is very important, because this got exploited quite hard. They even wrote behind that this was abusively used by some players. So I didn't actually knew about that was working like this, because I actually had that, I think one time too, that I pressured a player who just got attacked by neutrals too, and I guess he couldn't clear me out because he were in the need to kill the neutrals before. Like, I actually didn't completely knew about it, but it seemed to have been a thing, and having this patched out is really important, because this is game changing and this can be abused so hard, and it's really good that they patched that out. Good job, Shiro. Having the game now definitely made it a little bit better here. Perfect. Coming to the last feature modification, it's once you finish the chapter, at least once, you will have the possibility to choose to watch the first in-game cinematic. And that is something only made for me. No, I'm just kidding, but I were, when I were in the beta and I first started up the first in-game cinematic, I needed to click something away to make my OBS working, so I actually never saw the in-game cinematic. I always just saw the intro and I knew that it were quite of the same-ish thing, but I never saw the first in-game cinematic then again, so for me it's gonna be a big day, so I can actually see it again. Great! So, we're going to jump into the Raven balance here. After the last patch, the clan of the Raven became a little unbalanced. Thanks to his ability to colonize territories with crowns, we've added a few things about it. So, we've increased the crown cost of colonization by 10%, and the Raven's Fame to 100 now also grants 1 happiness. So, there were a little bit of a debuff here for the Raven clan, of course. Like at the start, if you're wondering, usually you're gonna pay 10, you're gonna pay 8 crowns to make your first colonization, and just to get you in a little bit of the mood, how much it changed, you will actually pay 10 for it. Like it's a little bit more than 10% in my head, but yeah, it's just like that. It doesn't hurt you all too much. Like you will definitely feel it because you will have less gold. But if you happen to have a ruin at your start or a shipwreck, or you can somehow get your dock up quite early, you will still have the ability to colonize quite hard with your crowns there. So it got a little bit worse to do it right now, but it's still definitely a thing. And as Raven, since you have not too much of a good food economy there, I always like to take my crowns there, and it's still quite strong. I yesterday played it a little bit on my stream, and I can definitely say that the Raven is not dead yet. So really cool changes here. The 200 fame bonus were actually quite important, because I always felt like it feels so unfair that when your fame 200 hits, you always get unhappy because you just get BAM! 2 or 3 unhappiness in your face, and it's just like a little bit too much. And it's cool that they fluffed that up a little bit. So let's jump into the bug fixing, and I think we're going to fly a little bit about this. In the multiplayer game creation menu, we fixed the visual bug that caused the AI number in line to switch with map size. That's cool. It is not possible anymore to upgrade the gates of Helheim. What the hell? Like, I don't even know. I don't even want to know. Okay. When befriended, the Jotnar on the Jotnar tile won't count as clan's population. Oh, they also counted as clan's population. You need to build houses for these guys. That's crazy, man. Scout's health bar sometimes disappears when scouting. This has been fixed. Yeah, I can definitely say that. I saw them most of the time. I didn't saw the health bars of the scouts. Just when they were running around, when they were actually scouting a tile, you couldn't see any health bars there most of the time. There's now a progress bar for the Mendes healing. Actually, a bug that I reported, man. Bang! We fixed the bug allowing trade routes to keep going even after reaching 0 food stock. Yeah, a lot of players in the last time made exploited that quite a bit. It were always possible for a little bit because the trading route just kept on going even though you hadn't food, so why not? But it got exploited a little bit too much in the last time, so they patched it out, and I think it's of course a good thing. When slaughtered by the Wolf Clan, sheeps will not provide any gold anymore with village, so sad, I guess. The Dragon invasion alert sound has now been added. That is quite important for me because I never realized when the Dragon invasion actually came in and there were no sound for it. So quite cool that we have something for that now. So even players like me can now realize when they get attacked by dragons. Mercenaries in your territory will not count in food consumption during winter anymore. I heard that from James yesterday, that they actually patched that out, and he asked me like, did you even know that we're in? And I gotta say, no man, no clue that mercenaries in your territory will actually bump up your wood consumption. That's so crazy, but pull their pension out now, and it doesn't happen anymore. Like I always raise the food consumption of my enemies when I raided them. That's so freaking cool. The hanging out with friends achievement is now functional. So sorry for the trouble. Yeah, a few of the king players and streamers actually tried out to make this achievement happen, but it's not actually possible before this update here, so they can actually get it now. So quite cool. We fixed the wording issue with 4 codes. It affects both civilians and military units. So I think right now it has to affect both. I would have thought before that it only affected military units, but I could, like it says just the wording issue. So I would say that it before already both it just didn't came clear through the texture. So quite cool if that's actually got changed. Gotta play around with that, what actually it is. So let's see. We fixed the camera behavior bug when switching between military group of units. I think that is when you take your control keys and you will always just send it to the mid. I'm not completely sure. I heard that when you use control keys that you sometimes just get pumped to a random spot on the map, but it could be the usual general control key bug that you have like in every game that has control keys. Is when you have 2 units, you have both of them in a control group, they split, and you press your control key 2 times, so you get dragged to the units, and you just get pulled into nowhere because your units are splitted up. You get just right in the middle, and then in the middle is nothing, so you just see nothing there. I heard a lot of players, like all over the years of RTSs, complaining about that, but I never actually saw a strategy game that fixed that. But could already been fixed here, I don't even know anymore. We addressed some UI issues. Yeah, I don't know about that, and we fixed null access errors. That's always good. I didn't have too much of them in the last time, even though I only had 2 or 3, and one of them were actually the healers bug, but might some of you still know. And it's one more thing. Thank you all for your support and reporting the bugs you witnessed. The next month will be dedicated to develop a new multiplayer ranking system with balanced map generation. A new clan will shortly follow this update. Happy Easter and enjoy your sheeps, because your sheeps will actually be pink now. That's quite cool. I just saw it in Liney's stream that the sheeps from him were actually ultra fast too. I don't know if that actually is like that. So they're hoppling through the forests of Northgard here. It's looking quite cool. I hope you enjoyed this update. There were quite important bug fixes in here, and even though there weren't too much implemented in here, and I think the Raven clan balancing will not completely balance it out, but I don't think that the problem of that really lays in the Raven clan. It's more about the unactive playstyle it is right now, but we're gonna address that in the next months and weeks, and I hope you enjoy your time in Northgard, you enjoyed this video here, and if you did so, you can maybe leave a like here. If not, then not. Have a great day everyone, see you back in the next video, and bye bye. So, ciao!